Welcome to another wonderful chapter of Good Wine Gal Barb Wild here in Kelowna. This is for a podcast and video series that I'm doing on the wonderful women in wine in the Okanagan Valley. Today I have with me Sandy Leier, and I'm just going to read you a little intro to honor Sandy because Sandy's an award-winning winemaker on the Naramata Bench. She is the winemaker at Laughing Stock Vineyards. She's a Kelowna native, so how lucky are we to have a local gal inspired to stay here and work in wine. She has a degree in chemistry from the University of British Columbia, Okanagan. She brings over 2 decades of experience to the cellar. Her career has taken her across the globe to study diverse winemaking styles, which results in these award-winning bottles that you make, Sandy. And as well, you kind of remain firmly committed to the Okanagan Valley and shepherding championing other women coming into the industry and men. I don't want to be, particularly narrow, but as this is a woman in wine conversation, I thought I would just highlight that. Sandy has been celebrated for her hands-on approach, her focus to precision, which you will see when you taste the Syrah 2023, that was like top 50 winner in British Columbia with the Okanagan Wine Festival Awards. And her passion for experimenting with innovative techniques, which we'll have to talk about, like the use of concrete eggs and Italian amphora. Beyond the vines, she's a dedicated mentor committed to supporting the future of the Okanagan wine industry. So, Sandy, hello.
Hello,
Welcome.
you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to
It's
see you
so
too.
fantastic that you could join. I mean, honestly, you're a celebrity now, and I was pretty sure I was going to get that get lost, Barb. I'm busy.
Oh, never. I love you, Barb. You're always so much fun. So it's great to connect again.
It's great to connect.
You make
Great
me
to
sound
connect.
so good in your bio. So thank you for that.
Well, congratulations to you. I mean, we just also had the All Canadians.
Yes.
And
Yes.
what happened there? Do you want to tell?
Yes, so Laughing Stock, we got two platinums this year. And so for our Syrah 2023 and our Blind Trust Red 2023. And then we've got a gold for portfolio and a couple of other medals. So yeah, still, I think there's still some announcements coming out, but
Yeah.
yeah, going to be,
And for anyone who doesn't know, platinum's like you had to score above 96 points or something like that. Did you? Do you know?
yeah, above 95, I think it was. So
Yeah. So, first of all, when it comes to rating wines, it can be very confusing for consumers
yeah,
because we have bronze, we have silver, we have gold, we have double gold, we have platinum. Yeah, that's right. So there's like 5 categories, and I always think I get excited when I see double gold, and then like there's platinum, and it's like, oh my God, it's even better. So do you think do you think consumers understand that an award doesn't necessarily mean an expensive bottle of wine, and expensive wine doesn't necessarily mean an award?
I think, I think people get it. Yeah, I think that that's a big, the awards, there's a big question. Like, oh, okay, if it's an award winner, what does that really mean? Like, somebody liked it, but does that mean everyone's going to like it, right? There's always that question. But I think that um, the key is like if you can win awards consistently amongst a group of competitions, it does show sort of the consistency of the panels on the awards. And I think we've got very good, like, pretty consistent tasters from one awards to the next. So I think that's, yeah, I do.
Well, carry on with that thought because Small Winery of the Year in 2026, Small Winery of the Year in 2025. I think there were others, like you tell me.
Yeah, I think, well, over the last couple of years, yeah, we got the small winery of the year for Canada last year, and then with the BC Wine Awards, winery of the year as well. And yeah, the Syrah got a gold at the Syrah du Monde in France. We've got,
That's amazing, though. That's amazing because like there must be hundreds of entries.
yeah, there are hundreds of entries, and it's just nice to see that it also like we've won some of the local Canadian and British Columbia awards, but to see it go outside of Canada to some of the international competitions is great. Seeing it come out on top too. So proud of.
Well, it speaks to a couple things, and one is that the judges here locally have enough of an international palate or enough experience to identify this
Yeah.
as it aligns internationally, because I think sometimes it sounds to me like consumers haven't quite kept up with the fact that BC wine gets better and better.
Yes.
And for many reasons. I mean, you might speak to that more than anything else, but I would say experience,
Yeah.
technology.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, your innovations, like using different vessels.
Yeah, I think, well, for one, I think that like being in the wine industry here over the last 20 years, I've just seen so much, like so much has gone into the viticulture. We've got people coming from around the world with experience that we never had before, and also winemakers from around the world. There's some just amazing winemakers coming into the valley, and we've really been able to step up the game. And people that are in the wine industry in BC, I find they're not just in it for themselves, they're in it to collaborate, and they want to elevate the whole region, which is great because we all can learn from each other. And I think that's really important too for a region to come out always doing better, and always we want to be recognized on the international stage as well. So here we go.
Here we go. And also beauty. Like I've been to other wine regions in the world, and I would have to say there's nothing quite as beautiful as standing at Laughing Stock, looking out the windows and seeing the lake,
Yes.
Naramata Bench, seeing the hoodoos across the water, on a blue sky day. Uh, like
Unreal. We live in such a beautiful place, and
we do.
yeah,
Maybe we keep that a secret.
we do. Well, we don't want it to get too busy here, but
Plus, I mean, I'm working on a project to move wine from British Columbia to Sweden. And I have a contact there, and there's some restaurants and blah, blah, blah. And I think it's really interesting. But one of the wineries that I was chatting with said, "Oh, we really don't make enough wine for export market." And I was like, "Yeah, we do. Like, you're not going to sell 10,000 cases. This is Sweden. This is like premium wine. So if
yeah,
we sell 40 cases a year to Sweden, wouldn't that be amazing?"
it would be. Yeah,
Okay, so
very.
now I'm going to count on you for some Syrah because
Yeah. Well, better hurry because the downside about the Syrah is that we lost most of the vines in that freeze in the 2024. So, we're pulling together a little bit of Syrah we had in 2025 from another vineyard, and 26 is still to be determined how much we're going to get. But yeah, we're replanting obviously, and I think a lot of people are a little bit hesitant to replant Syrah in the valley, but man, it just
I've heard that. I've
yeah,
heard that.
and
So
it's amazing grape to grow here. I think the Okanagan is the place for it, but we just need to figure out how to make it last through the cold winters.
yeah, it seems to me like there's these, well, I don't know. What do you think? There's like been a lot of events in the last 8 years.
Yes, there has. Yeah. We don't know what normal is anymore. It's kind of been up and down, and yeah, crazy winters, crazy summers. And now yeah, we just hope
Yeah.
for a good vintage, right?
How does that work for planning?
It's a bit tough for planning, yeah, because we're buying barrels in February, and it's hard to know what you're really going to get. But I mean, we've really only had a couple of really bad years where we didn't have a lot of crops, so I think we're in a better place now and a little bit more consistent, hopefully, to come. But we'll see.
Are you sad about Syrah?
Yeah, I'm very sad about Syrah, but I'm optimistic. I'm just really happy that our company is just still going to pursue it and keep planting it. And
Yeah.
we'll figure out how to manage it when it's a tough year. So
So is that like a 5-year hiatus then until the next Syrah comes along?
no, we I do have some in barrel from 2025, but it's just from a different vineyard. So it's not going to be exactly what we've been producing, which is sad because obviously it's been doing well. The vineyard that we were getting it from for the award winners was our Perfect Hedge Vineyard, which is right on the border of the US and Osoyoos on the east.
Mm.
And so that was all killed in that freeze, but we've replanted that. And the other vineyard that I took it from last year is not too far from there. It's a little bit closer to Oliver, but still, I think 25, the vines were still struggling a little bit trying to come back from that frost, but I'm optimistic for this year that I think we're going to get some decent Syrah. It's just going to be a smaller quantity.
So, I mean, I'm kind of stuck on the Syrah thing because there's a terroir component, there's
Yeah.
an age component of the vines.
Yeah.
We're kind of chasing, would you say Northern Rhone or
Yeah.
something
I,
like that? Yeah. So that's not an easy task. And there was a lot of components to making that so special.
yeah.
So yeah, okay. So on a more positive note, we can mourn the loss of Syrah and wait for its return. But in the meantime, you have other exciting projects.
Yes, we do. So back to your comment on the vessels, that we kind of have these special vessels that Laughing Stock is sort of known for. David and Cynthia Enns, when they built the winery, they went to Italy. They got these beautiful amphora, clay amphora to do some really neat things in. Also the concrete eggs that they got from France. And those are kind of the things that lured me to Laughing Stock, because I thought, oh, this could be fun. We're going to play with some different varieties and do some really neat things in these little vessels. So we're sort of expanding the vessel series, if you want to call it that. And so when I came, we ended up buying a great big oak tank, so a Fudres, so it's a 2,000 liter oak tank. It's beautiful French oak. And I had worked with them a little bit at Sandhill with our Italian, the Sangiovese and the Barbera. I used to age in those. And so we brought one of those in, and we're going to do some other wines in puncheon. So it's going to be a puncheon series as well. So we're kind of expanding on that vessel series. But so far, what we've got is we've done a 100% concrete Chardonnay. We'll probably do another vintage of that. We've got Amphora Chenin Blanc, which is just a
Mm.
oxidation. I haven't done, I kind of wanted to get more of I guess, people typically have done white wines on the skins in these amphora, but getting away from the skins a little bit, I just wanted to see what you could do with just the juice. So we pressed off the Chenin Blanc and put the juice in the amphora to just naturally ferment away in there. And it's really interesting the textures that you get from doing that. It takes sometimes 2 to 3 months to ferment. So you got all this lees contact, and the way it kind of rolls around in these amphora because of the shape of them is really, really nice. So we've done that in the Viognier as well. We did the same way as the Chenin, just let it do a natural ferment in the amphora. So yeah, those are kind of the vessel series wines right now. And we use the concrete eggs for Chardonnay. So we do, our Chardonnay for Laughing Stock is about 80 to 90% done in French oak barrels. And then we do the rest of it in concrete to bring a little bit more of a pure sort of fresh fruit character into the wine rather than all of it being an oak. So that's been a lot of fun too. Um, this year we're going to do a little trial with I don't know if you've heard about it, it's called Aroma Lock. So it's like some technology that's actually been developed in the Okanagan, I believe. So it helps to trap aromas in the fermentation, because during fermentation it gets quite warm, so you can blow off a lot of the volatile aromas. So we're going to see what that is like this year.
Wow.
Yeah, lots of fun little things going on.
I love the vessel, kind of like a chef,
Yeah.
favorite knives.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, tools of the trade.
Tools of the trade. And so, thank you for that because now I'm looking forward to Chenin and Chardonnay and Viognier, like all these lovely styles. And I do like aromatic whites,
Yeah.
but they don't all have to be aromatic. I like texture and I like balance, as prob everybody, well, I shouldn't say I'm the only one, but those are the things that I think lead us to award-winning wines is that you've got something more. It's not
Yeah.
just here's the fruit and here's the structure and boom. It's like, oh, it's like the thinker. It's like,
Yeah.
mm.
So true. Yeah.
And I have a bottle of bubbles. So I'd like you to tell the story. I've got a glass here
Okay.
and I got, well,
Whoa. Barb
this
is
is this is the big bad boy Napoleon's saber. No, it's not really. But look at that. Isn't that amazing?
that's impressive.
Yes, it's called the Sabre à Champagne. I don't know if you can read it, but
Oh, I can. Yes. I didn't know they made them specifically for savoring. I
well, Napoleon, when he rode into battle, he had to energize his troops. So he would lop off the tops of bottles. And this is not cutting them off. This is some precision around seam and lip and all that.
okay.
But old bottles maybe broke a lot easier than new bottles. I don't know.
Wow, I cannot wait to see your skill with that knife.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But would you, while I go get the bottle, would you please tell the story of the bubbles that we're going to taste?
Yes, I will. So we are going to taste our 2021 Market Bubble, and this is just the second vintage of our traditional method sparkling at Laughing Stock. So it's a blend of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, and we harvest it it was from Okanagan Falls this year, and so we picked the fruit quite early, back in August, and pressed it very gently. We cold settled and then fermented some of it, mostly in stainless steel tank, actually, for this vintage. There has been vintages like 22 vintage we did in neutral French oak puncheons, which is kind of cool to see a little bit more of a textural enhancement on it. But the 2020 vintage, being the first vintage of Laughing Stock, that won at the Effervescent du Monde in France. It got a gold, so that was
What?
amazing.
First time out, hey?
And then the 21 has got some awards as well. It's a little bit, the 20 had a little bit of Pinot Meunier in it, and we lost the grapes for that. So this going forward, it's mostly just Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, but I still think it's a great blend. It sits on lees 3 years in bottle before we disgorge as well. So
Wow, that is a classic traditional method approach. three
yeah,
years. That's champagne. Okay, so this makes sense for Sabre à Champagne. Okay, so I'm doing something that I don't advise anybody else do, but I'm just gonna saber right here in my big room. It's like I'm gonna poke a hole in the door of the wall. I'm not really sure, but okay, so the secret is you find the seam. There's a seam right here. Bottles are important when you do bubbles, yes?
yes, very.
Okay, and I'm gonna aim it towards the door. Okay, wish me luck.
No
Uh,
electric in front of
some-
you.
yes, thank you. Sometimes it doesn't quite. Okay, all right. I'm gonna. Can you see? All right, yeah, you
Yeah,
can. Let's hold it. All right. Anyway, kind of
perfect.
blurry, but it'll work. Uno, dos.
Woo! That's amazing. You did it perfectly. Okay, I think you've got a lot of experience doing that. How much champagne did you drink this year?
Yeah, I went to Champagne. But anyway, thank you. And now I'm just going to pour a little. No, people often ask, oh, when you do that, do glass fragments, could they end up in the. And I'm like, no, they can't. This is a car tire,
Yeah,
pressure of a car tire. Yeah.
great.
So beautiful bottle. Let's like get the label in here.
Yes.
It's still a little blurry. I can only blame my not so good. Oh, look.
Oh, there we go. You got it. Almost.
Oh,
There.
yeah, don't move, Barb. Stay still. Okay. So I noticed that your alcohol content is perfect for champagne.
Yes.
Yes, 12.2.
Yep, 12.2.
Oh,
It's, yeah, what do you smell in there?
well, a little mushroomy first,
Hmm.
which is very interesting because that's not common. Um, I mean, if you're in France and you're in Champagne, it's mushrooms, apples, lime, racy, dry, dry, dry.
Yes.
Little brioche maybe?
Yeah, I got brioche, little like pie crust maybe.
Pie crust. I love pie.
I love pie too.
So-
Getting hungry.
Right? Where's our appies? I never thought beyond just the wine. All right. I know I shouldn't really swirl the bubbles, but the thing about evaluating sparkling wine is for me partly the bubble.
Yes.
And
Bubble.
what did look at you can still see, I don't know if people can see this. The bubble is still rising, fine petulance coming up from the bottom of the glass. Like, if the bubbles disappear, you're kind of like, "Oh, that's a bummer." Like,
Yeah.
and when we're drinking maybe frizzante or maybe not terrifically carbonation sometimes is can be weird because the bubbles are big and
Yeah.
sharp.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna taste now. I'm so excited. I'm gonna taste now. Mm, mm. It's not Granny Smith. It's more like a golden apple or maybe like a ooh. And the citrus isn't necessarily lime. There's a
No,
lemony component, really lemony.
definitely lemon. Yeah. It's
Yeah, and tell me what is it green apricots?
yeah, I was gonna say like nectarine, like almost like the when they're just a little underripe, sort of
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah, zestiness.
Oh. But what I love about this is oysters really dig this minerality. There's like this mineral component. I think it ties in with a little bit of the mushroom brioche kind of note to it.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, they've
And have you been to Raw Action? This is the new oyster bar down on Bernard.
no, I haven't.
Oh
I
my goodness, we'll go there. We should take them a bottle and we'll say, hey, you know Sarah Campbell?
Sarah Campbell, I don't think so.
She was kind of going around the valley doing like pop-up oyster shucking for wineries.
Okay.
Anyway, she's lovely. It's crazy. It's totally crazy. Of course, this year, much like our vineyards last year, oysters in Nova Scotia have a blight of some kind, and the babies did not take seed and they don't have a crop.
Oh,
95% lost.
oh, that's terrible.
Hmm.
Wow.
It's
We
kind of like how I felt about where we were last year. It's terrible.
so sad. I know we just got back from Europe and we were in Portugal and along the southern coast, and we went to have some oysters, and they were like, "Oh, there's just none right now." Like they had a bad algae
Right.
and stuff, so they didn't have any. And we were like, "Oh, they were known for this, but what's going on?"
Do you think, like, climate change is showing us, like, these events that we're having, it's a signature of what we're dealing with, and it's very unpredictable.
Yeah.
And, like, what are we going to do?
I know, it's crazy, right? We got to figure something out because there's going to be a lot of change, and if we don't do anything about it now, it's going to be hard.
Well, do you have, like, I heard, I don't know if I'm accurate, but the government said they would, with replanting, only support hybrids that
Oh,
were weather resistant. And I don't know if that's true or not. And I don't know if I just heard, like, there's all kinds of information online. It's not accurate.
yes. I haven't heard that, but I'm not always totally in the loop on that stuff. But
Well, do you actually work out in the vineyard? Are you like out there with sort of the conversations around what we're going to do for irrigation when we don't have water, or, you know, do we need to do lighter bottles so that our footprint's lighter or any of that?
More sustainability, yeah. And I think that, like we've got a great vineyard manager and he's all over it, like talking about what we're going to do and how we're going to sort of start to achieve some things. So I think that it's going to take a lot of sort of the industry is going to have to come together and come up with the plans together because it's hard. I think, we've got all these little tiny vineyards spread out all over the place, but which makes it more difficult for each of them to try to tackle a plan when maybe we just come up together with some bigger plans and help each other get there. So hopefully we
Well,
can.
I had Severine Pant on, and she's the chair of Sustainable Wine Growing British Columbia. And I mean, just leaning in and listening to what they're trying to do, what the measurements are. Once you start measuring, it's kind of like I was wearing a watch and it was telling me my heart rate. Once you start measuring, then you have some information and then you are like reacting to it and can make change, right?
That's right.
I
Yeah.
threw my watch away. It's too stressful. But anyway, um, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a bit scary, but
So do you have any certificates around sustainability for Laughing Stock?
we don't have the certification yet, but we're working on like, tracking water usage at this point, trying to figure out how we can use less water, less cleaning chemicals, that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
it's a project that we're getting there. I think so. Culmina Winery has been on my plate for a few years too, and
Oh.
right before Jean-Marc left, they got that vineyard organically certified, which is great. And we've hired a new winemaker there, Caroline Scheller, and she's also, looking at the winery like for sustainability as well and trying to, I think together we will probably for the two wineries do it as a whole. And
And that makes so much sense. Like, why does everybody need to create a new pathway for each? And then that was kind of your point. Like, if we can share the load, if we can share the information, if we can do it together,
yes,
how much easier does it become? So I think that's amazing. And I love Culmina, like BTW, by the way.
yeah,
Like that whole story, just I was so enamored. Like, panels, what do you call it? Solar panels, electrified. No vehicles were gas powered. All the grapes that were planted, there was a mapping and a geological mapping done so that the grapes were planted in the right place. And the wines just demonstrate how technology, how the science of all that has made such a contribution to Decora, Dilemma, like their hypothesis. They're beautiful wines. They're beautiful wines.
yeah.
Somewhat under the radar now because they don't, it seems to me they don't really have a champion, but knowing that somehow now you're involved means that'll all change. So
Well, it's coming back. I think that the focus fell off of it for a little while, but there's been a lot of focus on it now for almost a year now, and I think we're starting to get traction again, and you'll start to see it more. We're building
yeah,
the brand. There's 2024, there's really not anything because also Culmina wines are made from that property only. So that year we had no fruit other than a little bit for rosé, the Saignée, but yeah, 25 now you're gonna start to see the whole portfolio come back online and there's gonna be a lot more traction behind the brand. So
amazing.
yeah,
Amazing. It makes me very happy because there was a lot of investment and a lot of time and energy put into that to make something special.
absolutely.
And yeah, and
Great.
I'm so glad you're involved with that. I haven't met Caroline Schaller, I don't think.
Oh, yeah,
So,
she's lovely. She's a French lady, and she's just wonderful. She does a great job there and very passionate. So you'll definitely love her.
we'll have to drag her into Women in Wine and all the things that we're going to be doing. So, yay.
Yes, for
I love
sure.
that. Okay, well, this is fabulous. I'm very happy with this.
Thank you
And
very
it's
much.
been open for a little bit.
Is it
Let's,
evolved?
that was kind of my check.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like there's this spine of just this mushroom note. I'm just like, wow, that's so interesting. Like dairy almost, like a cheese rind.
Yes, I get that
So
too.
interesting. Like that's, I don't know. It must be having, it must have to do with the vessels or something.
It could be. Or
Mm.
yeah, the malolactic, maybe there was
Hmm. Hmm.
something going on,
It
but
was Chardonnay and Pinot Noir.
yeah.
So this is like classic house style, brut meaning dry.
Yeah.
And not everybody knows, but like there are six classifications, I think, of sweetness for champagne. Did you do any magnums?
No, we don't do magnums, but
Any? You do magnums for a blind trust and portfolio? Yes.
just for portfolio, yeah. And we do the double magnums as well. At Culmina, we actually do a 6 liter bottle as well for the hypothesis. So that's a fun one to bring.
Oh my goodness. Like I have to tell you, like I've been collecting bottles for like too long. And I was just at a tasting and they opened up a 3 liter and a double magnum that were one was 2013, the other was a 2019, and I was like, oh my God, these wines haven't nothing is like these wines are fresh. You know,
Yeah,
like this is the vessel. So
great. Yeah.
I'm trying to deplete my cellar. I'm not trying to increase the number of bottles I have, but if I was, I would be looking at double magnums for sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
I agree. They're so much fun.
So much fun. You
Yeah.
have a party and it's like half the load. It's just
Yeah.
big bottles.
All you need is two
Yeah. For two people.
for two people.
Okay, so I like our conversation a lot. I was wondering if you want to talk a little bit about, the work you do around mentorship, because I know it's important to you
Yes. Well, I think
because you had a mentor.
I did have a mentor. I think most people that know me from Sandhill know that Howard Soon was my mentor, as well as his team of winemakers. He had, Stephanie Stanley, he had Karen Gillis, and
Yes.
Katie Dickinson came out for a while from Ontario. She's amazing. And I learned under that whole team, and I would say they were all of them were my mentors because I learned different things from each one of them. Howard, I was just so lucky that Howard kind of took me under his wing because I didn't have any experience in the wine industry when I came in, but I had a chemistry degree and I loved wine. I loved, I had a friend who worked with Howard who would bring wine and talk about how it was made. And that's where I really started to get intrigued with the process. So, um, after having, I feel like my fortune was really good having all of that come together. And I just got to move through different roles with the Peller family. And I got to travel a lot to different wine regions and, talk to different winemakers that were working on wines for us and learn about it. So you know, I think it's important to sort of give that opportunity to new people now. And so my assistant winemaker right now, her name's Caitlin Barrett. She worked with me. She was in the lab when I worked at Sandhill, and she was just, like, what is it like being a winemaker? What do you do? I'm like, why don't you come over? Like, just come and spend some time with the winemaking team. So she started coming over just on her own free time, and she would see what harvesting looked like and how we did it. And she got really interested. So she ended up, she went and did her winemaking, a winemaking program. And then she did a harvest. She also did a harvest abroad over in New Zealand. And then she went back and did another one in Tasmania. And she came back with all this experience. And, she worked for a few wineries in the Okanagan. And then she landed at Laughing Stock. And she called me up one day and she's like, there's a winemaking job here. So I was like, okay, great. So now we're back. We work together again and
Amazing.
it's great. She's amazing. But yeah, and I've had,
Was she with you at the Polo Classic when we did the Women in Wine tent? Yes. So I
yeah,
have met her and she's lovely.
she-
Yes.
yeah, she's very smart. She's very motivated, and um, she just came back from maternity leave. So while she was off, I hired a girl named Jen Snack, who covered the maternity leave, and she had no wine experience up until a few harvests ago. She came and did a harvest with us, and she moved from Vancouver just for 4 months to come and do this harvest, and she loves wine. She was in wine sales and she did some wine repping stuff. So she has a great palate and she's so passionate about it. So she did her harvest with us and she moved back to Vancouver. And then when Caitlin went on maternity leave, I was like, well, what do you think about if you want to expand your horizon in wine? So I brought her back in and she covered the mat leave and sort of developed skills as
Amazing.
sort of as an assistant winemaker, bringing some of her other skills into the mix. So I think, well, and then now we just hired our cellar hand for this coming harvest. And it's a guy he's 23. He just graduated with a chemistry degree and he's interested in potentially getting into wine. And his family used to grow grapes for the Enns family for Laughing Stock. So, like, okay,
That's
this
cool. That's a full circle.
is a great opportunity, just
Yeah.
to like give people the opportunity to come in and see what it's all about before they make a commitment to go get a degree and everything, because winemaking seems romantic and it seems very, like, I don't
Oh, what a dream. You
know.
don't have to do anything. You just kick back, your feet are up most of the time. You
Just
know,
yeah. But when you actually have to get your hands dirty and you're out in the vineyards and you're on the crush pad when it's snowing or 40 degrees out and you're just out there for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, it's a little bit different when you get a picture of what it's going to be like, right? So you have to have that passion. And I think Laughing Stock is a great place for people to start. So I'm excited about bringing new people in and mentoring them and giving them a chance to see what it's all about.
so
You know,
it sounds like the pathway is work a harvest, pay attention, chemistry degree helps,
yeah,
but passion is a lead. Don't
passion.
necessarily have to have a background in any of this.
No. And I think that if like that would be my advice too, is if you're interested in getting into wine, network a little bit, like find somebody who will mentor, because having a mentor is everything really. When you're starting out, there's so much to learn. It's a different world, right? Like if you come with a chemistry degree, at least you've got sort of a foundation of things, but knowing sort of the agricultural side of it, how to grow grapes, what are you looking for when you're picking grapes, because that's a big decision to make. Tasting, developing your palate, the sensory, and there's just so much to learn about it. And every year is different. Like we talked about earlier, Mother Nature throws all these curveballs. And so you have to be on your toes all the time, learning new things about, what do other people do when you get a frost? How do you mitigate this damage or this pest? So it's, yeah, it's a lot of learning, which is what keeps me engaged for sure.
Yes, and no two harvests alike.
No, that's right. I haven't worked two that are the same, that's for sure.
Yeah, so it's interesting. What does 2026 harvest? What's it looking like from your lens?
It's looking good so far. I think we're going to have a nice size crop. We know that we're going to be making like our demand has picked up a little bit since we know 2024 we didn't have a lot. 25 we got a bit of a bumper crop, so we're happy about that. And 26, whatever it brings, like the quality is going to be nice. We can see it already.
Is it going to be early?
Definitely going to be early. Probably maybe third week of August or early in the fourth week for sparkling at least. So yeah, it's
Okay.
a couple weeks early, I would say.
Well, these things are changing in the moment.
They are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I've heard, soon as the fruit sweetness is there, it's got to come off. And some grape varieties will accumulate sugar rapidly, which would be the death of every sparkling wine that I've ever had because I don't want it to be sweet. I want it to be racy and dry and bubbly and beautiful, that would go well with my oysters in my dreams anyway. So,
That's right. Yeah.
um, okay, so about how many cases? does Laughing Stock make annually? And I know that's hard to answer because we've had the up and down roller coaster ride, but
Yeah, it's been up and down. The last few years, other than 24, we've averaged about 7 to 9,000 cases, somewhere in there, usually around 8,000. So it's not huge, but it's a decent size. And
the Chileans are laughing.
yeah.
That's not even a winery, their definition. But I always like to tell people boutique, 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 boutique. If you come to British Columbia, it's boutique wineries.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
people are like, oh, BC wine's so expensive. I'm like, no, it's not. You have to taste it because the quality is
Yeah.
high quality wines. So you're paying for precision, right? Small lots, careful handpick, careful attention in all stages,
Yes.
award-winning wines on the international.
Yes. Yeah.
So please don't push back at a $35 bottle. Please don't. Because in
Yeah.
the international market, people are buying Burgundy at $135 a bottle and it's not even fancy. It's not even from, anyway, the point being, I think we need to help the general population understand wine quality, wine scores, and wine pricing, which all is marketing in my humble opinion, but they know that like so I worked in wine retail. It was like, oh, I want a really good bottle for my friends getting married. And I'm like, well, how much would you like to spend? Well, I don't know. What's a really good bottle worth? And it's like, well, it can be 35, it can be 60, it can be 100. Where are we shopping? California. Without California wines on the shelf, we have a bit of an opportunity, I think, to really kind of deliver that message that, for example, Blind Trust and Portfolio, fantastic red wines oriented, towards a nice grilled steak, any kind of blue cheese, like power and power. And we don't need to spend 100 and plus to have that experience.
Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah. I think people don't necessarily know what goes into making some of the small batch wines, right? Like it's not the same as the large batches that you can machine harvest and stuff like that. If you're hand picking and you're every piece of that wine takes a lot of labor, a lot of love, a lot of, your eyes are on it all the time. It's a special wine. It costs a lot of money to make
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's different.
So it's interesting because, this wine in decline conversation, really the wines that are in decline are the cheap, bulk, highly processed wines, in my humble opinion, from what I've read. The Barefoots of the world have had a challenge. Their wines are just disappearing. And the Jacobs Creek of the world, people are willing to spend a little more money and get something that has a story attached to it. So, let's tell really good stories. And I think the Naramata Bench, and I think your work and the style of wine that you're producing, these are all lovely. And there's a history, like how did it start and where did it come from and the naming conventions. And yeah, it's all lovely. It's
Yeah.
all lovely.
Yeah. And the Naramata Bench is a special place. Like there's just
Oh my God, yes.
special about it. When you're sitting there looking down at the vineyards and the lake, it's just there's nowhere that's quite the same.
No,
You,
no. And all your microclimates and the influence of the lake, and yet the cold temperatures, but this breeze, like it's been so windy, but
yes.
that's a good thing.
It's a good thing for the vineyards. Yeah.
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 So anyway, well, I'm keen. I was looking around some of the vineyards, this past weekend, and like abundance, abundance. There's a beautiful fruit set, and there's so much fruit, and I'm like, wow. So I'm guessing there's going to be a green harvest happening soon because we
Yes.
still have a lot of wine from 2025. Like, where's it going to go? But when we're only doing 7,000 to 10,000 cases. Like we have lots of opportunity for good pricing, international competitions, and then going to Sweden, I hope. I hope.
Oh,
Be
that would be great. Yeah.
Would be lovely. Well, my goal is a master class in Stockholm next May for a handful of BC wineries who are keen to spread their wings and introduce cool climate to others that are appreciative of cool climate, like the Scandinavian countries. Like they get it.
Yes. Oh, that would be wonderful to sort of
Yeah.
see what they think.
I'm going to sign you up. You're coming with me. We're going to
Yes,
go.
yes, that would be great. I would love.
So, what other future things are on your mind? Are there any like maybe
Um,
something keeping you up at night, something you're looking forward to?
I think I'm just looking forward to, um, I guess, coming out of a couple of challenging harvests. I think that, yeah, having a little bit more normality is my hope.
Yeah,
That's what keeps me up at night is sort of what's around the corner from now.
yeah.
What is much Mother Nature planning for us, and you know,
Well, I heard 38 degrees this coming weekend.
uh, it's the heat is a bit of a challenge, but I think the way things are looking right now, the vineyards are looking really good and strong and healthy. And, they might shut down for a little bit with the heat, but as long as we can keep them healthy through that, we'll be fine. The crop's going to be great this year. I can already see it.
Was it so I was chatting with Sanka Tennant and she was telling me the beauty of the Naramata Bench is there's an aquifer that runs underneath it. And so the vines go really deep. And I was reading an article that some orchardists want to drill into the aquifer to get water because they feel like the drought is too hard. And I'm like, no, no, let nature do its thing, right? But anyway, Sanka is a gift. I
Yeah.
did a chat with her, and her funny story was like, you know how I have a saber to saber bubbles? Well, she
Yes.
had a machete to harvest to trim the canopy on the vines, and I was just like, she's a mite. Like honestly, it's like, it's like
See her doing it too. Uh, too
anyway, too funny. Is there anything you want to chat about?
um,
You guys have a wine club?
we do have a wine club, yes, and there's different options, whether you want whites or reds, and the wine club members get uh, pretty much exclusive access to the Amphora wines, and unless they don't all sell to the wine club, then we might distribute to other people. But yeah, first access to all of our new releases.
Which is
First,
valuable.
yeah, and first access to all of our events, which we do every summer. We do a Canada Day winemakers dinner on the site where you
Amazing.
have 3 or 4 or 5 courses paired with wines. You get a wines, like a cellar tour with another glass of wine. You get to see the amphoras and how those wines are made. You get to see the fireworks with your dessert, looking over the lake,
So
which,
beautiful.
and then we do a blending session as well in the cellar. That's coming up at the end of August, and you get to taste. We talk about what is the sort of significance. Why do we blend different Bordeaux varietals? And so we'll taste through all the 5 different varieties that go into our portfolio. And everybody gets to put together a few different trial blends. We talk about what does a winemaker do when they put together trial blends? What are we looking for? And then everybody gets to pick their favorite blend and make a 750 ml bottle to take home with them. So it's kind of fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I've had people come up to me later and say, I opened my portfolio blind against your portfolio with all my friends, and they chose mine.
No bias intended.
Like, you should come and work for me then.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you've got a tasting room as well on the Naramata Bench. Now, when I was driving along, there was a sign and it said, "Here's the phone number, appointment only." But when I got there, the gates were open. So I think summer season means the gates are always open. Is that 7 days a week?
It is now, yes. We used to keep the gates closed, but we're just a little bit more able to get more people in there now. We've got a little bit of an overflow parking and a couple more people working in the tasting room. So yeah, we're welcoming in people from the road as well as from the trail above us. So people can bike down and park their bikes and come in for
Is
a
the
tea.
bike down? Is that the KVR trail that goes above you? Is that the trail? Okay. Well, that's a big deal. If you're on a bike and you want to have some fun, you stop in, and if you don't make it any further, well, just pitch your tent.
That's right. Yeah, it's all good. So yeah, we're open 7 days a week right now, and we do cheese board. Like you can do a cheese pairing with your wine tasting, which is really fun. They do Sebastian. He's our sommelier who works in the tasting room. He puts together like an amazing cheese pairing. Like every single one of them, you just be blown away with how well they work together. And yeah, so
So
it's
go and say hi to Sebastian. Uh,
yeah.
have all the things. Are tastings paid? How does that work now? Is it $15 or $25? And then,
Yeah, I think he put it to 15 this year, but you get some back when you buy a bottle of wine. So,
yeah, I think providing free things isn't a good way. So I firmly believe that understanding that things have value is really important. Time and energy, where these wines come from, the whole story. It's a bit of it's entertainment. You pay to go to a movie, like go taste wine. Like please,
yeah,
please,
for sure.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I have to tell you, we've chatted for almost an hour, and
Oh,
and I love it. I love
time
it.
when you're having fun, right?
Yeah.
Drinking wine, especially.
Sabering bottles. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, thank you so much, Sandy
You.
Leier. Yeah, marvelous to have you here. I feel like this conversation could go on for a while longer, but I know that you have a life and you've got other things going on. Maybe some grapes are even calling your name. So, thank you for joining. Cheers to you and your lovely winemaking. Like, honestly, we're so lucky to have you in the valley, and I'm so appreciative of your skill set and your big open heart that you are desiring to mentor women coming in or anyone coming in. But, the reason I champion this series is because I had a gentleman tell me once that the only reason there's so many women in the Okanagan Wine Valley is because women are the only ones that are willing to work for such low pay. So
Oh,
one day I would like to have a chart and I would like to call him to the front and then I would like to point out, is this what you meant? Because I think he would be quite embarrassed that he said such a thing in public. So
yeah.
there you
Good.
go. We're going to prove it. We're going to prove it wrong.
Totally. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate what you do too to help us, get our wines out there, showcase what we're doing. And I think it's so nice to talk about it and spread the word. So thank you again.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right. Best, have a great afternoon. I'm going to say goodbye. So
Hey,
we'll chat soon.
okay, bye.
Take care.